Did I pass it? You're back. Well, you were purring on my lap there for a while, but then you stopped. Now you're back to do the same. Oh, there's my headphones dying. I'm going to stay up late tonight, even though it kind of screws up my schedule, but the sun's been coming out like around noon, so I should just sleep till then anyways. Ooh. Lana Del Rey talking about James Franco. It's the Circle Jerks. Oh, I love the Circle Jerks. The American Revolution by Kim Burns.
Alrighty then.
Oh, I gotta plug my headphones and switch. So annoying. Okay. Oh, purr kitty. Yeah, you're just purring your guts out, huh? You love me. You know you love me. You don't have to go anywhere, kitty. I'm just grabbing my headphones. Yes, cell phone is charged. Good. Need to charge my watch. Okay. I'm gonna stay up till 2 a.m. is what I'll do. I'll work till 2 a.m., which is still only like an hour and a half from now. But that's alright. Okay. Speakers. There we go. And very good. Now.
Then hello.
Oops, loud.
Bit of a different video today, but this is a video game that I picked up for, I think it was about $13 on Steam. a few days ago, and it's sort of become my obsession since, which is quite notable because I have not been a very big gamer. I really have rarely touched any new video games in the past like few years or so, so it's pretty impressive for a game to really pull me back in again. This one is actually one that I have had my eyes on for a little while, but I just have never got around to actually buying it, and this is Elite Dangerous. So it's kind of like a space sim type game. Some people compare it to No Man's Sky and Star Citizen. This one is quite different in that it is aiming for quote-unquote realism. No Man's Sky, and I haven't played Star Citizen, but No Man's Sky...
That's my drones are gone. They like died, I guess. I don't know. Oh well. Here's 11 million worth of stuff that'll pay for the drones. I'm gonna drop all the stuff that's heavy but not valuable. Oh, that's it, huh? Sitting here. And I'm done with the mission. Fucking loser. Fucking idiot. Fucking ass clowns from this tiny pond. It's hilarious. Fucking ass clowns. Fucking loser ass clowns. I know no rodeo clown except these ass clowns. Fucking losers. You can see it right away. Loser. Ooh.
Guy at the very least is very straightforward. There's not that much depth to what you're doing. You're kind of just sort of going through the gameplay loop, and once you learn the basics, that's really all there is. Whereas in this one, I love the fact in this game that they just sort of throw you in with like a few tutorials that give you the very basics, and then the rest is up to you. It's like, that is like a game heaven for me. So it's really no surprise that this has drawn me in so much. But talking about it is one thing. I kind of want to show you what's going on with the game, because that is the best way of communicating exactly what it is that I love about this game. So,
there's two of
if
them.
I remember...
Oh, it's butt buddies. How cute. It's another set of butt buddies, or maybe the same one. But usually it's a set of butt buddies from every game that I play. There's some set of butt buddies that gets fixated on me. Worthless pieces of cock-sucking shit. But I mean, like, they fixate on you. I don't know. I didn't do anything to them. I don't do anything to these people. Active. Talk some shit, I guess.
correctly, the last thing that I was going to do was, if we head over to local services here, just a bit of context as well. So we're currently in a spaceship
Fucking rodeo
in
clown.
a settlement on a planet.
Fucking gamer rodeo clown.
And the local services here, this is kind of like all the services that the settlement can offer. So in this particular case, we're going to be looking at outfitting. So that's kind of like, well, you'll see. Basically, this is our starship. It is the basic default starship, and in fact, I've still got a whole bunch of loaned components here. But if we go in here, we try and replace these modules, which is essentially buy better ones. There really aren't any better options. Well, I mean, like missiles and like guns and things are pretty good options. But in terms of like, I've got some like laser cannons on my starship right now. Hold on, I'm still getting used to some of the controls. Yeah, see, I've just gone to the menu. The controls are an interesting part of this game. See, I've got pulse lasers here, and they are very important for getting through people's shields. So if I replace these with guns, yeah, I'm going to have a very difficult time fighting people if I have to do that. Which I'm trying to avoid right now because I'm still very new to the game. And then if we want to go to like our core internal components and take a look at like our ship's hull reinforcement here, there are no other options. And I think this is a like settlement by settlement, like case by case basis when it comes to each settlement. So I think what I'm going to want to do is go to another settlement, right? And I've got an idea of which one we're going to. So let's get out of here. And let's open up our menu over to the left here. I love these menus, by the way. There's the comms menu, there's the sort of me menu, what's going on with me and what's going on with the ship. And over here we've got our sort of ship menu here, all the different ship parts. We can turn pieces on and off. But over here on navigation, we're going to go down, and I'm actually going to use the system map to find our new settlement we're going to travel to. Now, this isn't a tutorial, so if this makes 0 sense, that's a good thing. That's what I love about this kind of game, is it does make sense, but you do need to like go in and really explore and figure out how all the things work. Like with this stuff, like I literally had to go through and press the buttons and see what they did in order to figure out what they did. In this case, we're going to go to points of interest and go to settlements. And so here, where we are now, we are in Miller Pixel, and this is planetary field. And there's not really much other information here. So this has a military economy, and it's operated by the Alldayerrydaybaby Union.
This ship makes the ship combat way better and way more fun.
But if we go back to
this reminds me of the combat from No Man's Sky.
Flags Progress, sorry. What you'll see here is it says Interstellar Strike Force as opposed to Arapahoe Union. And this sounds a little bit more like it would have some different ship parts, perhaps. Take a look at the market here. Interstellar Strike Force, yeah. It's a colony, apparently. Let's see. Well, to be honest, we never know exactly what's there until we go there. So we're just gonna set this target, and then we're gonna leave the map, and then that target will be set on our HUD here. I think it's called, the HUD is called the Insight.
Ship is way better. This is how the first ship should have been. And instead it was the last ship. Oh, cool. Some kind of module for my ship.
Died. But we'll see. We will see. That being said, you can still fly too quickly towards a planet, and the effect won't slow you down quickly enough, and you'll end up crashing into the planet. Now this planet is pitch black, so I can't see where the edge of it is. Luckily, yeah, I was waiting for that. They do have some helpers that show up. Speed ourselves up, get ourselves into orbital flight. And we just got to keep an eye on this here, because there is a maximum vector that you can approach something in the atmosphere with. You can dive into the atmosphere at a certain angle, but some angles are just too much. It is a bit of an art form though, because if you're not careful, you will exit glide, which you'll see in a moment. You'll exit that too early, and then you'll end up with a 5-minute thruster flight to the spaceship. I mean the settlement. Hour.
Look at how UI and menu bound this game is, and it's like, Eve's no better, but oops.
Warp drive active.
Oh, I don't have a, damn, I don't have one, huh? Oh. I need to get a mobile tracker unit for this thing. Running better. I think this is my playthrough. It's good. Got rid of some mods I don't use and picked up some ones that I really want to use. So I need to set my power. I like that one that auto uses powers. I wish I had that one too, because that one's really handy. No, it's just another mod that might break the game. I don't think my FOV is lower. Maybe their FOV is better. 20 mil, not bad.
Warp drive active.
Online. How high can a Tristan run in Abyssal? We'll run worm abyssals and just, or well, I might take like a Povertila to tier 3 maybe actually, with no clones or anything like that, so if I die I don't cry. It's like 300-400 mil loss.
Things use. So it would make things so much easier. It is 160,000 credits. Right. Well, here's what we're going to do. We are going to go back to our hard points and we're going to take one of our pulse lasers and we are going to store this module. Alright. And then we're going to grab, yeah, and when we get the chance, we'll upgrade the pulse laser that we do have, but for the time being we're going to replace it with this multi-cannon. And this will help us, if we do get into a combat situation, this will help us fire at a ship with their shields down and actually do some damage, which the pulse lasers don't do much of without shields. Alright, and then there's some other stuff here. So we've got life support, sensors, the places that you need to go.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It's an immersive game, but it's not my type of game, unfortunately. I think X4 is a superior game to this, and it's a single-player game. Sort of sad. How we doing? I'm at 258, 328. I should save. I'm getting good progress here. Hopefully I get like another 200 grand while I'm sleeping. Oh, I am trying to get home to the station. Do Dixie Duck.
Warp drive active.
Oops. Now what happened there? What? Did it end?
Docking permission requested.
Holy moly, donut shop. So I've been seeing a lot of people panicking about a lot of the trans fear that's been going on here. People are scared of trans people. People are scared that, oh my goodness, there's a guy who wants to chop his balls off. It's horrifying. It's his balls. He can do whatever he wants with them. I want to get my balls chopped off. They get too sweaty sometimes. They're a little bit annoying. I hate them. There are women that want to get rid of their chest memories. How are they going to breastfeed? They don't want to have kids. That's the entirety of what's going on there. Well, if they do want to have kids, then let them. I don't know. It's their choice. But well, if they want to abort the baby, that's their decision as well. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. Why are there only men talking about this stuff? Can we have a woman's opinion on abortion for once? Ever? Can we do that? Is that be cool? But I've been seeing a lot of people talk about, oh, there's so many closeted gay Republicans and stuff like that. Now, I do think that it is strange to continually say that your enemy is also the thing that they hate. It is a little bit strange to do that. But specifically with Republicans, not really. So what I want to do is kind of examine why there are so many gay Republicans and what they hate about trans people. And this video isn't going to be, oh, dogging on gay people or something of that variety. It's mainly observing the mindset of a Republican man that is secretly homosexual or a reason why they might hate trans people. And also go to Thailand all the time. You ever notice how there's always those company trips to Thailand?
Why do they always go to Thailand? What the fuck is that? I got a friend who's marrying somebody from, is it Malaysia or no, Korea? I can't remember. Was it South Korea or no, it was the Philippines. He's marrying somebody from the Philippines. Why do they always go over there to Asia? It seems weird. You can't find an American woman? Probably not, because they know you're a right-winger Nazi, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Fucking stupid, worthless piece of shit right wing.
Well, they say we gotta go to Thailand, guys, and get some lady boys.
It's the only way we're gonna get some ladies is if they're lady boys.
Lady boys, I believe it's called Katui. Katui, I believe, is what they're called. Kathoey. I believe that's what it's spelled. Katui. We're gonna talk about that, but first, let's talk about the fun examples of gay Republican nonsense. Don't know if you guys remember the bimbofication of Brian Nome. This is a pretty big story for a while. The husband of former U.S. Secretary of Homeland Defense loves to dress in women's clothes and wear huge prosthetic breasts. This is a real thing, by the way. This isn't like a bit or a joke. This was captured by Daily Mail, where he was saying he wants to be a woman real bad. It was pretty interesting going on for a while, where he was on a bunch of bimbo sites saying he wants to feel like a woman and get bimbofied. It was pretty interesting to witness this, and people were going crazy about it. They're saying he's so religious. How can he do this? Please offer our thoughts and prayers for our family at the time. It was pretty nuts. I wasn't surprised by this information in any way, shape, or form, because I have encountered mostly Republican gay men on Grindr whenever I was doing my escapades in order to blackmail them. They're getting blackmailed by a black male. Essentially, that was going on there. But outside of that, there's also the Grindr debacle. The Grindr CEO confirmed significant user spike during Republican National Convention, and this is exactly what I expected the CEO of Grindr to look like. Just a man that I would trust with my whole body, mind, chest, and soul. He looks like somebody that says he's HIV negative but still uses PrEP, and I gotta respect that for him. I love that for him. Grindr CEO has acknowledged that the app had a significant spike in usage during last year's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. In a new interview with Unheard's Freddie Sayers, George Arson dismissed rumors that the traffic had caused servers to crash, but confirmed there have been a surge in users that supporters celebrated Trump's confirmation as the Republican candidate. It's a whole thing there. At the time of the event in last July, rumors spread across social media that Grindr had crashed due to influx of Republicans in the Midwestern city. Disgraced former Republican Congressman George Santos, even though the convention, the Grindr Super Bowl. Arison told Unheard that there was a tweet storm last summer. We didn't actually crash, but there was a significant spike in usage. Now, this is pretty common, actually. I knew about this. I knew about there being a lot of Republicans on Grindr. If you're really into the gay man scene specifically, you know there's a lot of Republicans there, a lot of closeted homosexuals, or more so a lot of people that we call DL. They wear beards, and the beards being their wives, where they have the family at home, but they want to either be dominated by somebody that's a man with breasts, and I mean like prosthetic breast cross-dresser, or they want to get dominated by a trans woman. Either or, that's what they want. They just want to have that happen to them, or they want to dominate one of them. It's a whole thing. This was a thing back in the day with pedastry. This was a whole thing in ancient Greece, was a practice mainly associated with the upper class, where an older man, Aristates, would be in a relationship with a younger male. And this is a whole thing. Usually in his teens, this was the coaching method. They would sleep with each other. It was a whole thing. It was very common back in the day. It was horrifically common back in the day. Now I could go through the history and all that and tell you how I know that men are secretly gay and how they want to dominate each other and stuff of that variety because of the big masculine urges. I'm going to do something even more fun. This question comes up every time another anti-gay politician gets caught messaging men on an app. People want to know why it keeps happening. Why does this pattern repeat? Why do conservative spaces seem to produce so many closeted figures who rail against the very thing they secretly are? You know what I mean? The answer is not that Republicans are secretly gay. That's too simple. That's too easy. No. It's a answer that lives in the collision between power, religion, masculinity, culture, and social pressure. You see, these four forces that squeeze a person until something cracks, and they're cracking gay men in the back of a Denny's. Conservative communities in the United States are often more religious and more traditional about gender roles and less accepting of openly queer identities. Let's take my favorite black Republican of all time, for example. Tyler Perry dresses up as Medea. It's his big role. Tyler Perry is, at least at the bare minimum, a bisexual man because he has very intimate relationships with men a lot of the time. That is what he does a lot of the time. He loves dressing up as Medea. He loves dressing up as a woman. They thought it was humiliation ritual, but Tyler Perry is very openly conservative. He believes in God, and a lot of his stuff and his thing is very...
Which is okay. It's okay to be gay and believe in God. It's weird. It's okay. You know, there's no judgment.
God-centered. He focuses heavily on...
Like it's weird that you would willingly take a religion that would condemn your sexual orientation. That's what I mean. It's not weird that you're gay or anything like that. Oh, wow. Yeah, these things hit harder. Damn.
And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but that religious backing mixed with him being homosexual or in some way bisexual himself is disgustingly common because of the pageantry of the church. When someone grows up hearing the same sex attraction is sinful, weak, shameful, or politically dangerous, they learn to hide. Not for a weekend, not just for years, decades, a lifetime. Being openly gay carries a much higher social cost in those environments than in liberal ones. The cost is measured in family rejection. Get out of my family. You get exiled from the church when everybody in your family goes to church. And you can lose your entire career because your career is built upon that. And the loss of every community tie you ever knew, you lose that backing of everybody you knew. Most people cannot pay that price, so they build a closet. And the closet is not this metaphor, it is a survival strategy. The closet is also a pressure cooker of all the stuff you have to hide about yourself that you secretly want to be. I think a big issue I have when people talk about this, besides someone just says, oh, he's secretly gay, obviously, he's just gay. No one wants to talk about the psychological side. It doesn't get any attention. When your identity clashes with the culture around you, compartmentalization becomes automatic. You might genuinely support conservative economic policies, immigration policies, gun rights, nationalism, or religion while privately struggling with sexuality. That's a real reality for a lot of people. Humans
Yeah,
are
it's
not
okay.
ideologically
Yeah.
consistent creatures. Some
I don't want to judge them. It's okay to be gay and be right wing. It's just the weird condemnation of trans and gay people that I don't understand. Or the choice of Christianity and being gay. Because isn't that a religion that condemns gay people? So it's sort of just an odd choice. It's not bad if you're a gay Christian. It's not something I'll judge you on at all.
somebody can sincerely believe in low.
I know that most of my audience is like that. It's insane. Not all of them. I'd say about a quarter to 40% of them or something are like this, though. I know they are. They don't like the language I use. They don't like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just like, sorry, right-winger. I don't care. I don't know how to... You gotta get out of my way. Get out of my way. This is a serious problem. You didn't think about this? Gotta get out of my way. Open the doors. Open the doors. It's 1:15. I should go to bed. Okay. I just turned in this mission. I got 2 level 4s done before bed. That's good. I'm up at 400k LP, which is good. That's like 300 mil to the LP guys or whatever. Okay, so I want to buy, or not buy, but yeah, we gotta dump all this stuff, sort by value, select all, put this in item hanger. I want to buy a mobile tractor unit. Okay, mobile tractor unit needs to go into this Noctis. Yep, and Noctis is all set again. And then we'll get in the Gila. Dump what's in the Gila. Good. And, ooh, a standard memory chip. Not bad. Not a bad pull. I pulled the standard memory chip in there. We're 20 mil. Not bad. So this all in all was 50 million worth of stuff from the 2 level 4s. So we'll sell it all immediate. Oh, those Navy Vespas. Oh yeah, I did lose Navy Vespa, so we'll cancel that one. Yeah, the Caldari Navy Vespa. Just gonna keep running this, huh? Yeah. Just gonna let it run. Why no unused key thing? There's a skip pack, but I don't have a spacesuit yet, or I would equip it. Where do I go? rest of the ship, but you're not giving me like a guidance. I will have some yogurt and fruit. Getting tired. Walking my 5 miles every day like really takes it out of you. Opulence of the stars. Please see the concierge for in-room dining arrangements. Voyage completion. Okay. I love the RP of it. Like, God, it looks good in 1440p. It's so good. And it runs well, too. Need to be able to see my OBS. Okay, I don't want to sell this drone. All the rest of it, sell. Very good. 40 mil. Or no, maybe I ran out of stuff. Yeah. Gonna put this in the drone bay and buy another one of them. Well, I thought I had a buy order here, but maybe not, huh? Oh well.
owe taxes, and also be terrified of their church finding out they hooked up with men. The brain holds...
Yeah, it's because they're scared of their church that they act like this. It's weird. I would say. BRB, I'm gonna go get some frozen fruit and yogurt. Such a good dessert, better than ice cream. Okay. Now, what else? Oh, yep, sell all that. 145K. Oh, everything aggroed. Just run. Oh, that's not good on picture here. Out of the fucking way. Get out of the way. Jesus. Never mind.
These contradictions because the alternative is choosing between parts of yourself, and that choice feels impossible. With the extremist culture that we have now, especially back in the day, is more extreme than it's ever been, especially online. They can't even be slightly gay. That's why gay is such a wildly crazy insult. The brain builds walls between these parts, and the walls hold until they don't want to. Look at any movie that has an action star. Look at any Ryan Gosling film. Look at Fight Club. Very heavily masculine. And you see these men with big bulging bodies, and you either say, I want to be him, or I want him to be in me. Either or. You gotta be with him in some variety. That's how it is. There's a reason the hyper masculine closeted guy stereotype exists in movies and internet culture. In some environments, proving you are one of the guys becomes this big survival theater. You talk loud, you pop, you're not getting things perceived as weak. You construct a version of yourself that can survive inspection. The construction is exhausting overall, and that exhaustion makes you angrier. And the anger gets directed outward at people who seem to be living the life you cannot have. You attack in others what you hate in yourself. That is the explanation for what has happened. And the explanation is so old and ancient, but the mechanisms behind it don't ever change. Just the names change. Visibility bias makes this seem worse than it might statistically be. When a conservative anti-gay
I didn't bring
politician
over my best sniper rifle for some reason.
gets exposed for secretly being on apps like Grindr, it becomes massive news because the hypocrisy is so explosive. If an openly progressive politician is gay, okay, that's whatever. No one cares. Nobody writes think pieces about another Democrat who is exactly who they said they are. Oh no, this Democratic senator is sucking a whole bunch of people. I'm sure no one does that. That's not a story. Stories require tension. Contradiction is tension. Every scandal that creates the impression that there are so many closeted Republicans is insane. The actual percentage is very hard to measure, but the impression is not hard to measure. The impression, the extremism, the nonsense of it is not hard to measure at all. I think a lot of this comes from this deep misunderstanding of what being conservative even means. The internet sometimes acts like every Republican is a cartoon evangelical culture warrior. In reality, there are gay Republicans, bisexual Republicans, libertarians, economically conservative people, military conservatives, closeted people, openly married gay conservatives, and people who disagree with parts of the party while still voting Republican. That's the whole thing. Because some people there are a lot of gay people that don't like trans people. That's a whole thing. And they say, we're not a part of the group if you're doing that, and then you ostracize them, and then they really don't like trans people because they feel like the T should be separate from the LGB. And some people feel like the B should be separated at some points because they're being picky and selfish. It's disgusting. How dare you want both things? Choose one. Pick one flavor of ice cream. Yeah, disgust me. Human beings regularly join groups that do not fully love them back. That happens all the time. History is filled with that. Workers who stay in racist unions, feminists who stay in transphobic organizations, religious believers who disagree with half the doctrine. People stay because leaving means losing
Gay
community.
Republicans.
The belonging is worth more
Gay
than
Christians, it
consistency
happens.
to most humans. How can you go to church and believe in loving one another, but you don't even love yourself? Yeah, I know that. That's true. That's just what it is. Consistency is a luxury for people who have somewhere else to go, so they can be consistent, but that's the issue. I think nobody talks about the fact that shame can distort behavior. When people are forced to hide huge parts of themselves for decades, it can lead to secretive behavior, double lives, self-hatred, or intense anger towards others who are openly what they cannot be publicly, right? That they can't be. They can't do that. Psychologists have talked about this for years, about how repression creates obsessive or contradictory behavior patterns. It's the whole thing about repression in psychology. It's the whole defense mechanism. It's the unwanted impulse about that entire thing. Because repression is when the mind unconsciously hides upsetting feelings or memories, and then these repressed thoughts can create stress, anxiety, or even physical symptoms. And suppression is when someone consciously chooses to ignore painful thoughts. This is basic psychology. This is like 8th grade psychology for most people. Research supports that selective forgetting can block awareness of unwanted thoughts and memories. This can occur through retrieval-induced forgetting. Retrieval-induced forgetting happens when recalling certain memories makes related information hard to access. For example, frequently retrieving positive memories might make traumatic or unwanted memories less acceptable. It's a whole thing. It's like a whole thing about repression and suppression. I'd recommend doing some reading. I often read a lot of, this is going to be a lot really controversial for a lot of people. I read Exerbia. I read a lot of him. He helps me out a lot with a lot of things. He's a very controversial figure, but his books are pretty good. And also, if you just pick up, like, I don't know, a 10th grade psychology book, you can figure out this stuff in the first 10 pages if you really want to do some further reading to begin your psychology research. The person attacking queer people the loudest is often fighting something internal. Not always, by the way. This isn't like always guaranteed thing, but most anti-gay conservatives are probably just, I don't know, genuinely conservative, right? But enough cases exist to notice a pattern, and that pattern is really uncomfortable. I know the internet likes to turn this all into comedy because hypocrisy is one of humanity's favorite spectator sports, and politicians condemning gay people publicly while messaging them privately. Oh, it's a big plot twist, that's what it is. Oh, this is the thing. But underneath the memes, there is usually a sadder reality. It's fear, it's community pressure, ambition, religion, family expectations, identity panic, all colliding together inside one person who could never understand, or who has never learned how to hold all those pieces without breaking. And the breaking is public, and the public treats it as entertainment. The entertainment obscures the tragedy. Conventions like the RNC, the Republican National Convention, are becoming associated with grinder spikes that feed directly into that cultural narrative. Thousands of politicians connected people into one city, many away from their spouses, surrounded by intense macho political branding, living in a country where queer conservatives absolutely exist. The result becomes internet folklore almost instantly, because America treats contradiction like a reality TV genre now. The genre demands villains. The villains are often people who spent years hiding who they were and often finally got caught by an app notification on a phone screen. The app did not create the contradiction. Grindr just showed everybody. This revelation was always coming. Always, over and over again. I know I can talk about their backgrounds and how they would have lived differently if they had a different family, a different church, a different decade, a different set of expectations, because I truly believe that shame is taught. Shame is learned. The shame was enforced by people who were also taught and learned and enforced it the same way through. The cycle continues. The cycle produces more scandals. The scandals produce more memes. The memes produce more distance between understanding the person and mocking the contradiction. And that distance is so uncomfortable. The distance is also a deep lie. Up close, every hypocrite is just someone who has never found a safe way to be honest. I want to point this out. Me understanding a mindset is not excusing the harm that they have caused, by the way. They have caused insane harm. Public figures who pass laws against queer people while holding their own queerness are just disgusting. They cause so much damage. Hiding your own queerness while hurting people who you could be happier being is disgusting. The damage does not disappear because the person causing it was also suffering. Suffering does not grant immunity from accountability. Accountability and understanding coexist. I want to point that out. The internet keeps trying to make them mutually exclusive, but I'm trying to make you understand that I'm not defending these people in any capacity. You either destroy the person completely or you defend them completely. No third option. I don't know what's going on here with a lot of people with that. How there's only two sides to everything. But the third option is the truth, and the truth is really messy. The truth is that the person attacking queer rights might also be fighting a war inside themselves that they are losing. That's what's happening. But the truth behind this does not make the attack okay. I'm just trying to explain how everyone gets there. I feel like I can't really talk about this topic without bringing up Thailand. I want to point this out. You know the stereotype. Everyone has heard it. Wealthy executives, business trips to Thailand. A punchline that has been circulating for decades. The internet usually flattens it into like a joke instead of explaining the social dynamics underneath it. So I'm going to unpack the knot instead of just laughing at the fact that, oh, look at this businessman sleeping with ladyboys. There are real reasons the pattern emerged. I just want to explain it overall. Excuse my mispronunciation of this word, but it's katoe. I believe it's katoe. It is a term by some people in Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand who are assigned male at birth and present as trans femi or effeminate. Transgender women in Thailand mostly use terms other than katoe when referring to themselves, such as poying, woman, in context of Thai gender norms. Many perceive Katui as belonging to a third gender. So this is a whole thing right here. In the face of the many socio-political obstacles that Katui navigate in Thailand, Katui activism has led to constitutional protection from unjust gender discrimination as of January 2015.
I hope they do get free of it.
But
unjust gender discrimination sucks, and I hope they get away from it.
Separate third gender category.
They can be whatever they want to be. They can do whatever they want to do. I believe in the power of something as opposed to the power over something. You know, power of them, not a power against them or over them.
Category has not yet been legally recognized.
They're good, strong members of our community. They deserve respect, and they would be, they are welcome. Okay, kitty, I want this blanket. Sorry. You're a good kitty. But I want this blanket. This is my blanket. I want it as cold. I want this. Want to sit on my lap? Yeah, sit on my lap. Good kitty. Hi. Yeah, come be warm with me. I just was cold. I'm sorry. I want my blanket. I know you were using it as a bed. I don't care. It's my blanket and I'm cold. Mm-hmm. I love you, kitty.
There's this whole thing with this entire subsection in Thailand, and I want this is very important to talk about because this is the entire thing. Nang Thum is one of the most internationally recognized Katuis for her portrayal in the film Beautiful Boxer. This is a very regular thing in Thailand. It's very accepted here. They are very, very LGBTQ friendly in a lot of Thailand. It's also super cheap in Thailand. I was there with $50 back about like 8 years ago. I was there with $50 and I stayed there for a month comfortably eating 3 meals a day. Very cheap place, love it there. Thailand has had a globally visible transgender and ladyboy, in quotes specifically, culture for decades. The Thai term katui is widely known, katoi I believe. Compared to many countries, trans feminine people have been historically more publicly visible in entertainment, right? That's what it is. Nightlife, they've been in tourism, beauty industries, and even in urban culture. That visibility created an international reputation that became heavily commercialized through tourism. You cannot understand the stereotype without understanding that Thailand became a destination partially because it was more open about something that much of the world kept hidden. The hidden went looking for the visible. You know what I mean? That's just really what it is. The visible became an industry. The industry became a reputation, if that makes sense. Wealthy businessmen and executives often travel in environments built around discretion, luxury, escapism, and anonymity. Places with strong nightlife economies become magnets for that. It is the same reason executives historically flock to places like Las Vegas, Bangkok. They Bangkok and Bangkok. That's what it is. And Pattaya. Beauty, business, business travel, and indulgence culture have always overlapped. The suit comes off when the plane lands, and they get that suit off immediately. The rules change when you're far from home. The distance from your normal life creates this permission, and permission creates this behavior, and these behaviors create patterns, and then patterns create stereotypes, and there is a masculinity and taboo component here that people do not like discussing openly. Some men are attracted to femininity regardless of biological sex. In highly conservative or highly masculine cultures, they may never openly discuss that attraction, so it becomes compartmentalized into what happens overseas stays overseas behavior. The secrecy itself becomes part of the appeal for most people. Taboo and shame can intensify desire psychologically. The risk of being caught as a charge.
This happened to Jared, the subway pederast.
The distance from home removes the risk. The combination creates a pressure release valve for men who have spent their lives performing a version of masculinity that they don't quite fit or understand. Also, there's a power imbalance behind the whole thing. Wealthy foreigners in poorer countries often gain access to forms of nightlife attention and validation that they would not receive at home. That dynamic exists across global tourism industries generally, not just in Thailand. Money talks. Status seduces. My retainers are going crazy. Exoticism distorts a lot of things. A mid-level executive who feels invisible in his own country can suddenly feel like a king, and that feeling is so addictive. That addiction drives repeat visits. The repeat visits reinforce the industry. The industry becomes dependent on the addiction. The internet especially focuses on executives because hypocrisy stories spread really, really fast. A powerful businessman publicly performing rigid masculinity while privately exploring sexuality creates the exact kind of contradiction online culture loves turning into mythology. It becomes less about actual statistics and more about this whole symbolic storytelling behind the executive. The joke is about really the double live status, repression, and the elite secrecy. The people laughed in are often laughing at the gap between the public mask and the private reality. The gap is the tragedy, the joke, and then it gets buried under the punchline of the entire thing. It is also important to separate attraction from identity here. A man being attracted to a trans woman or feminine presenting person does not automatically mean he is secretly gay. A lot of online discourse collapses everything into such simplistic categories. People treat sexuality like football teams instead of a spectrum of attraction, presentation, fantasy, emotion, and social conditioning. A man can be attracted to femininity in any package. That does not make him gay. That makes him attracted to femininity. The insistence of rigid labels is part of why people end up in Thailand in the first place. Their home culture gave them no room to breathe, so they flew somewhere that would. Some of this stereotype is exaggerated by Western media fascination. Thailand became framed for decades through documentaries, bachelor party stories, shock TV, Reddit threads, and crazy nightlife travel content. Once a place gets branded globally for one thing, every story reinforces the myth. People start thinking the brand defines the entire country. Thailand has culture, history, food, religion, art, and millions of people living normal lives. The stereotype is flattening all of Thailand into, oh, you visited Thailand, huh? It was for them lazy boys, huh? For them lady boys. You got them lady boys. And I don't want to talk about just the memes of this entire thing, because that's really reductionist, and I don't like that. Because of visibility, tourism, repression, wealth, secrecy, it's really simple to talk about. Human beings doing the same thing they have always done when they gain money and distance from their normal social rules. It's the same thing. You know, when that wallet opens, you know, every hole is a hole to me. But none of that excuses the exploitation. None of this erases the power imbalances that make these dynamics uncomfortable. The wealthy foreigner in a poor country is not a neutral figure. The industry built around secrecy and discretion is not innocent. People get used, people get hurt. The stereotype jokes about executives often miss the damage underneath, but understanding the pattern, why the pattern exists, is not the same as defending it. It is just refusing to flatten a complex reality into a punchline, because the punchline is so easy, but nobody wants to hear the truth. So with all that being said, in this long video that I'm making and me rambling and ranting about things that I have known for many years, why do Republicans really hate trans people? Why did Donald Trump talk about and we gotta get this kill all transgenders bill on in action? What's going on there? See, for some people, shame and attraction get tangled together in really destructive ways, and the knots will form early, but they tighten over time. It becomes impossible to untie without cutting something loose. If someone grows up in an environment where being attracted to trans people is framed as disgusting, sinful, weak, unmanly, or socially unacceptable, the attraction itself becomes psychologically loaded with panic and secrecy. The person still feels the attraction. Attraction does not just disappear just because a culture says don't. So instead of integrating it into their identity honestly, they split themselves in half. Public self over here, private self hidden in a locked basement somewhere emotionally. You know, probably trying to become a bimbo online like Brian Nome did. And when you split pieces of yourself and you see other people becoming the true version of yourself that you want to be, it creates resentment. Not always hate towards themselves directly, toward the people who remind them of the part they are trying to suppress. A trans woman existing openly becomes a walking mirror, reflecting back desires or curiosity someone desperately wants buried. Human beings have a long history of attacking things that expose uncomfortable truths inside themselves. The exposed nerve hurts. The pain needs an outlet. The outlet becomes the person who did not ask to be a mirror. This is important about mirrors. The mirrors will just stand there showing you what you are. The mirror did nothing wrong, but the mirror is going to get broken because you can't handle your own reflection. As I discussed earlier, there's also the taboo effect. The brain intensifies forbidden things. I'm not supposed to eat the cookie in the cookie jar, but it's a cookie and I want the cookie. Aww. And with religion and strict morality and hyper-masculine environments, purity culture, all of it accidentally turns attraction into this wild obsession. oh, I'm gonna watch a trans girls go at each other on X videos. I'm gonna watch this. Nah, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna make laws that make them have to go even more secret. I'm gonna make them more secret so they have to try harder. And then when they're struggling and they're having a hard time trying to be who they are, I come to save them, and they can live with me in my basement. Oh, it's gonna be good. And this secrecy adds adrenaline, and fear adds intensity. Fantasy adds layers that real life cannot compete with. The person is not just chasing attraction anymore. They're chasing danger, escape, rebellion, anonymity, humiliation, thrill, guilt, all mixed together in the one emotional cocktail that becomes hard to separate because it's all liquid sludge all together. They cannot tell anymore what they actually want versus what they want because they are not supposed to want it. The not supposed to becomes the point. That's why you see so many people just perform disgust while privately consuming the content, messaging trans women, or seeking out encounters in secret. The public performance protects their status. The private behavior satisfies the desire. The contradiction looks insane from the outside because it is psychologically unstable. Humans are very capable of building identities around denial. The denial is not a lie they tell others. It is a lie you tell yourself. The self-lie is the strongest kind. It does not need evidence, it just needs repetition. Repeated thing enough times and it becomes furniture, truth in your brain. You see similar patterns throughout history with anti-gay Republicans later exposed to same-sex relationships, religious leaders condemning sexuality while secretly engaging in the same behavior they preach against. The pattern is the same way. The mechanism is the same. It's always the same. Repression creates fixation rather than removal. The mind circles the forbidden thing constantly because it never resolved it honestly. And unresolved things, they just don't disappear. They will go underground. Now, this does not mean every person who hates trans people is secretly attracted to trans people. I gotta keep saying this because it makes sense to think that, right? Plenty of transphobia comes from ideologically, religion, fear, social change, misinformation, or simple tribal politics. Not every bigot is a closeted case. That is too easy. That lets everyone else off the hook by making bigotry into a personal psychological failing instead of a cultural problem, because it is a cultural problem. Both things can be true. Some bigots are projecting, some are just bigots. That matters. It matters a lot. Since we're talking about stuff people rarely discuss, what about objectification too? Some men secretly desire trans women sexually while still refusing to see them as full human beings publicly. They reduce them to a hidden fantasy category instead of respecting them openly as people. I have heard so many stories from so many trans people that say, yeah, I really like this guy, but he's scared of his family and religion stuff, and he's a mayor or something like that, or he's a policeman and he's scared that his sister might find out or scared that his mom might find out, and we have to meet in public. And trans women are okay with this sometimes because at least they're getting love, right? At least they're getting somebody, or it makes them feel powerful because they get to just have someone. And in a lonely existence sometimes that being trans is, when you don't have a lot of people that you can actively rely on. You're in a small town and the cop figures out you're trans and then loves you because the fact that you being trans. It's private desire and public dehumanization. Acknowledging them sincerely would threaten the image they built of themselves, and the image is so fragile. The fragility requires constant maintenance. The maintenance includes attacking the people you desire so no one suspects you desire them. That's what it is. Because if I hate this thing long enough, then nobody thinks I like it. It's also that old boy thing where, oh, he's bullying you because he likes you, right? He's bullying you because he likes you. I hate the fact that trans people are becoming targets of fetishization and hatred at the same time. The same person who desires them might also vote against their rights. The same person who messages them privately might mock them publicly. The whiplash is disorienting. The disorientation is so exhausting, and you become numb to this entire thing. The closeted or repressed person lives a double life that slowly corrodes their ability to be emotionally honest, and that dishonesty bleeds into everything: relationships, parenting, self-image, the ability to sit in a room without feeling like a fraud. And then public discourse gets so poisoned because conversations about gender become fueled by fear and projection and shame and performance instead of the actual reality of what's happening in life. People are not arguing about policy, they are arguing about parts of themselves they cannot face. And the argument is a distraction. The distraction is the point. The point is to keep looking outward so you don't have to look inward. Looking inward might require changing something, and changing something is hard. And it's so hard to change something you intrinsically believe about about yourself when they contradict each other. A lot of culture wars are powered less by confidence than by panic. Panic about identity, panic about desire, panic about losing social belonging, panic about what it means if the thing you were taught to fear is also something you cannot stop thinking about. The panic is real, right? The people being attacked did not create the panic. They just exist. Existing is enough to trigger the panic. The panic does not care about innocent. The panic just needs a target. It's really sad. It's very sad. I just wanted to make this video to talk about the mindset of gay Republicans more so than anything. That was the point of the video. I made a video talking about the bill that they are passing right now, or more so, not the bill they're passing right now, the statement that the White House made talking about how they're going to war against Antifa and pro-radical trans people because trans people are such a horrifying thing. They think it's an abomination to God. And it's just really disrespectful to a lot of people that are just trying to exist and get medical care and live their lives. And I think it's disgusting. So yeah, that's really what I want to talk about today. If you are a trans person and you want to share your story, I'm all ears. I love reading comments. I don't usually respond to comments, and I usually don't read a lot of them because they make me feel bad. If I think the message is going to be negative, I usually just scroll past it. But I do read the comments. I just claim I don't read them all the time because, you know what I mean? I also get a lot of comments sometimes and a lot of messages from a lot of people. If you're If you are in any way, shape, or form wanting to be cool with me, you're more than welcome to be in the Discord and talk to me. I'm usually in my Discord talking to people. But outside of that, have a lovely day or night wherever you're at, and I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your nigga night, be my lower, slow.
Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. Do you notice he said very nice things about me? He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? So
all this talk about nuclear weapons has North Korea probably feeling pretty good about itself right now. North Korea refused to denuclearize, and they're looking at Iran going like, you guys were stupid. You should have built that nuclear bomb when you had the chance. Perhaps that would have been a deterrent. At the same time, Trump is dismantling missile defense systems in South Korea because we have a shortage of them, and we need them desperately to fight this offensive criminal war in Iran. But he loves Kim Jong-un still, Trump. And he can't get him off his mind. And he has an anecdote, trigger warning if you're not into ableist language, but Trump is touting the one material benefit of his return to power, which we heard about from the anonymous Wall Street banker that was quoted about what you can do now that Trump is back in office. Our freedoms have been unleashed in America, baby. We could say the R word again. And Trump is demonstrating that freedom through action.
think of it. And it's not just NATO. You know who else didn't help us? South Korea didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Australia didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea to protect us from Kim Jong.
We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea. Why?
Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. Do you notice he said very
Why do you get along with Kim Jong-un so well, Trump?
nice things about me? He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible.
He was so nasty to Joe Biden.
But to me, he likes Trump. And you notice how nice things are with North Korea? It's very nice. But we have...
He's responding to, can we find that clip when he was asked about his mental acuity? I would imagine that that's what he's referring to. He's like, so don't talk about that stuff. I know this is, I'm asking for
the reporter asked it.
Apparently at that press conference, he was asked about, you know, his mental state. Here, I have it actually. I'm just going to send it right now in the chat. So I would imagine that we can look at almost the timestamps here to see if that was the case. So that was 2:25 p.m. Eastern. When was that other clip? I would like that might have gotten under his skin.
This was right before.
Right before. So there we go. This is exactly why he reacted this way and said the R word. That response was at 2:29 p.m. 2 minutes before. This was what Trump was responding to.
President, you called yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that...
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people. Dasha, go ahead.
So that's
My God, you're dumb.
Sam is breaking a little bit. Had not been asked about things like that prior to, I don't know, the past few months.
Okay, I'm gonna stop here, guys. Thank you so much. You've been watching Skycat Live. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. There we go. I'm gonna go to bed and watch some Tom Goes to the Mayor. You've been watching Skycat Live. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. Click on the cast face to donate. Come to the Twitch or the YouTube. Give me or my Kick. Give me a like, sub, or a follow. I have many thousands of videos on my YouTube channel, which is reflected here on my channel. And I will stop this video here with a reminder that you've been watching Skycat Live, and I will publish to this. I will publish today's session to my channel, and it will be available by tomorrow night. And thank you so much for your time, guys. I'm going to log off Eve now. I'm done. And X4 is still grinding money for me. 254, not bad. And so what else? I want to... what do I want to do? I want to upload, and I will do titling tomorrow. I'm brain dead, and I'll just do it in the morning. (5:30) through 12:30, 9:30. Ooh, this is a 15-hour session. Not bad. And I will title tomorrow. I don't feel like doing it tonight. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to stop this stream here. Thank you so much for watching me play some EVE Online and some Starfield and some X4 and all that. And I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow for some more video games after I walk 5 miles in the sun. Or I don't know if it's going to be sunny. I don't know. But yes, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Sleep well. I'm going to stop this recording.